Sorry. I had to finish another meeting, so it was a bit delayed. I do apologize for that.
No worries at
Apologize
all.
to everyone
Absolutely.
who were actually waiting. So thank you so much for Tatiana waiting for me. Um, well, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, I can.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't want to bother you. So just continue. Please continue kindly with your presentation.
Yes, sure. So, hi everyone. Thanks a lot for joining us today. And today we are here to talk about our UK centers. Um, yes, my name is Tatiana.
Oh,
I'm
sorry. I thought that I
sorry.
Sorry, that I thought the introduction session has already done. So I was a bit late. So I thought the introduction was already done. So if it's
No,
not
I,
done,
I
let me
actually was
introduce.
not able
Um,
to start even. I had to be let in, so
okay, all right. I'm really sorry about that.
no worries.
Yeah. So here we go. UKWAY Education Consultants with study group with amazing study group admission manager Tatiana, and she's with us today, and we are very delighted to have her on board here in order to help you, all the students who are interested to study in the UK through study group, and who would like to take our services as a British Council certified agent. We are always here to help you guys cordially from the bottom of our heart. Now we have a fantastic session again with Tatiana. So it's going to be a very helpful and fruitful for you guys. So yeah, I will pass it to you, Tatiana. So please kindly carry on.
Yes, thank you. So basically, I would say that study group has one of the largest portfolios of the partner UK universities in the region. In general, we have 16 partner universities all over the UK. Mainly, we have two universities in Scotland, one university in Wales, and uh, 12 universities in England. Also, we have one university in Ireland, and it is very important to highlight that here I'm talking about the country of Ireland, not the Northern Ireland that is the part of the UK, but the country itself with the capital city of Dublin. And that's here we have another our partner university that is pretty close to the UK. So with this being said, I would say that we will be able to offer you a university based on each student's criteria. Should it be the price, the location, or the ranking of the university? We are here to help you, and I'm pretty sure that will be able to offer you what you really need. Sorry, you might be muted.
Yeah, definitely we will. Sorry, I was muted. Well, study group. Let me just. I think most of the students know. I mean, who have been actually researching about studying abroad. I think they know about study group quite a lot. And even though they know, I just wanted to mention again, study group is a pathway provider, one of the largest pathway provider in the world for higher education, and it's not just a pathway. Like for example, if students can also are interested to go directly to study for the first year, there is also additional, another option to go on international year one. In fact, recently, I think the study group has extended their services to, their products to international year two as well, and pre-masters, as well as the undergraduation, sorry, foundation program as usual. So there is no boundary to just a foundation program or pre-masters. So students having lower grades and a little bit lower IELTS as well can still start from the first year in the university. So yeah, this is an amazing opportunity to study and to study with study group with the international colleges with different universities. So this is here we are to help Tatiana. So I just wanted to ask about study group. Why study group? Why not? Why not directly to the university? Why study group? I know that I have explained a little bit, but I don't think that's enough. So yeah, I was just wanted to ask you why study group.
Yeah, thanks a lot for that question. So, to start with, obviously, in most cases, international students are not eligible for direct entry to the UK universities. And that's where actually we step in. Study Group is global education provider that ranges and actually runs the programs, pathway programs for international students. For undergraduate studies, these programs are foundation and international year 1 or 2. And for graduate programs, this would be a pre-master's program that leads to master's degree. So in general, that's why we are here. In case, well, in most cases, yes, if you are not qualified for direct entry, and for the direct entry to the UK universities, in most cases, only students who have already finished A level or IB diploma or US high school are qualified for direct entry. With all the other qualifications, undergraduate students are welcome to apply to pathway program, to foundation, or in some cases international year. So basically, yes, and that's where we organize the program. We run this program in the partnership with the university. And obviously, what is important that we provide support to our students during their first year of studies. So basically, yes, we have our teachers who are qualified, who had specific trainings to teach international students. Also, we have our welfare office, basically the whole support team for our students, where students can basically come into the office and ask any questions that they have. And again, the professors who are always ready to help students if they have any questions, or if they are not able to, like, if they need additional support. Basically, our team on each of the campus of the university is working hard to provide our students with the knowledge they need and with the support they need to be successful during their first year in the UK.
That's really lovely. I just had a question in my mind, just came now. How, because most students are really worried about the time when they apply, how long it actually takes for study group to offer a letter, unconditional or conditional, whatever it is, the first offer letter, how long it normally takes.
Normally, it takes up to 72 hours, meaning 3 working days. Obviously, yes, we are not counting Saturdays and Sundays or bank holidays. But with all the other cases, it takes up to 72 hours for the offer letter to be issued. Obviously, based on the documents provided, it might be either conditional or unconditional. Basically, the main difference is if students are providing all the documents that are needed for the decision, then we will be issuing unconditional offer letter. In case students are missing some documents, for example, they do not have English test results on the application stage, or they need to provide some additional documents in case students are having study gaps. Then we will issue conditional offer letter that will state what other documents are required for the student to proceed further.
Thank you, Tatiana. I actually had I must say that in the last session I had an offer letter in actually 22 hours. I think I don't know if is also the time difference between UK and Bangladesh, but yeah, I actually had offer letter less than a day time from study group. So this is how fast study group is in order to help a student when someone is interested to study abroad, especially in the UK. So yes, I just wanted to get started with the very low entry things, low entry programs. So, for example, what's the minimum? For example, student having IELTS 4.5. I just want to say that again, IELTS 4.5. You know, there are lots of marketing going around as well. So IELTS 4.5. So can someone study with very low score like IELTS 4.5?
Well, in general, I usually do not encourage students to travel to the English-speaking country, whether it will be the UK or the US or I don't like any other English-speaking country, with very low English result. Because first of all, it will be difficult for them to understand people around, to ask even simple questions. But in general, yes, we do accept students with IELTS 4.5 as a minimum. In this case, we will be able to offer English language preparation program. So basically, students will need to study some additional time. First of all, based on their result, and the second point, obviously, based on the university they apply into. Because, for example, Sheffield University offers only face-to-face teaching, meaning students will need to take one additional semester of English language preparation program before starting foundation or pre-master's program. If we are speaking about some other universities, like for example, Royal Holloway University, or a University of Huddersfield, Leeds Beckett University. These universities offer online English language preparations. So basically, students can start with IELTS 4.5. They can start English language preparation program from home 10 weeks prior to the foundation program start. So basically, they are starting from home 10 weeks, then they progress to the foundation program. And during the progression, they will need to physically arrive on campus.
Thank you, Tatiana. That's really fantastic. So there we go, students. You can, if you want to, start with very low score of 4.5. Yeah, I know that lots of students they want to get in first because they want to get in the university environment first, and then they want to continue studying. So you know, once they left school and now going to university, so they don't want to just stick with the IELTS centers quite a lot. So instead going and roaming around the aisle centers, they would prefer more to get into the university and study, continue studying. So thank you, Tatiana. And yeah, so which universities are taking the most low scores in order? For example, I'm talking about Bangladesh, Pakistan, India. So what do you suggest? For example, I know these are not this English-speaking country, so and lots of students are facing English problem in the very first place. So, which universities do you normally suggest at the first place?
I would say that majority of our partner universities agreed to accept students to foundation program with IELTS 5.0, which is again pretty low result.
Still
Uh,
low.
yeah, it is higher than 4.05, obviously, but it's still not that high result. So that's why if the student scored 5.0, in most cases, students are still welcome to apply to foundation program. only couple of high-ranked universities like Durham University, University of Sheffield, University of Leeds, University of Cardiff require higher grade of 5.5. All of the other partners against University of Huddersfield, Leeds Beckett University, University of Strathclyde, University of Aberdeen, um, Teesside University, Kingston University London, University of Sussex, University of Surrey are ready to accept students with the results of 5.0 in IELTS. Sorry, I can't hear you.
Sorry, yeah, that's for undergraduation, isn't it?
For
That's for
undergraduate, yes.
yeah.
For postgraduate, I would say that minimum level required is 5.5, but I will still encourage students who are planning their education abroad in advance and who still have some time to learn English and to get at least 6.0 in IELTS, because obviously the higher their English level is, the easier for them to study on the program.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Tatiana. So this is a short brief of entry requirement. Now we would like to move forward to scholarship. So what up to? I mean, what's the least scholarship and what's the max scholarship we can manage for the students, depending on their capability, educational background, please.
Yes. So, thanks a lot for this question. In general, we are offering scholarships to students mostly based on their qualifications, on their GPAs. And of course, based on the university, because each partner university has its range of scholarships. So basically, if we are speaking about Durham University, University of Sheffield, University of Leeds, Cardiff University, University of Aberdeen, Strathclyde, University of Surrey, University of Sussex, hopefully I did not forget, Royal Holloway University of London, yeah, I did forget one. So these universities offer the scholarships from 1,000 to 3,000 pounds bursary for the first year of studies. Royal Holloway University, University of Durham, and University of Sheffield uh, also offers progression scholarships for further year of studies. But it is important to mention that progression scholarships are only offered to top 10 or top 15 best students on the program. The universities that are less ranked and obviously more affordable, like University of Huddersfield, Leeds Beckett University, Kingston University, Liverpool John Moores University, Teesside University. These universities are offering scholarships from 1,000 to 2,000, again based on the university and on the program.
That's really fantastic. So many we have heard this is we are this is the these are the low very low budgeted university low budget universities, for the students who are looking for higher education in affordability in more affordable fees. So these are the universities: Leeds, Beckett, and Huddersfield, Kingston
Yeah,
University as well. So
so basically
yeah.
these are the universities sorry, these are the universities where the cost of education would be around let's say like 13 or 14,000 pounds per year.
13 to 14,000 pounds a year,
Yeah, for
and it's
example,
still
Teesside University is even cheaper. Teesside University's price is around 12,000 only.
okay. So it's yeah. So this is really amazing that 14,000 pounds of tuition fees, and it's still yet we can get a scholarship on top of that. So this is going to be very affordable for the students who are very much interested in in affordable tuition fees. Now we are moving forward to quality. We still have really, many queries about, medical students and some students on engineering programs. So, which university do you suggest our students to study medical? And could you tell us about the fees range and the scholarship up to scholarship actually? So, what's the maximum scholarship they can get? So, yeah, especially two subjects, medicals and law. So, if you can just go ahead
Yeah,
with one by one, I'll be very grateful. Thank you,
sure. So,
Tatiana.
if you do not mind, let's start with the law because I think that's the easiest part to answer.
Mhm.
So, law programs are offered in, I would say, half of our partner universities. Uh, and again, it is pretty easy. Yes, law is extremely difficult in the US, but in the UK, it is pretty easy to apply for, to be accepted, and basically to study law. So students are applying as usual to foundation program and then progress to bachelor's degree. Recently, we've actually opened even international year one program in law with progression to Cardiff University. For students who are graduating already with their bachelor's degree are welcome to apply to pre-master's program with progression to again to master's degree in law. So everything is pretty easy. Students, well, again, I would say that the process would be more or less the same as for business or any other degree in the UK. Students are applying to pathway program and then progress to bachelor's degree. Uh, law itself, degree itself takes 3 years. So basically, students will be studying foundation plus 3 years of bachelor's degree, or international year one at Cardiff University plus 2 years of bachelor's degree. And obviously, they will graduate with the bachelor's diploma in law. So that's pretty easy. The tuition fees would be again, like I would say, general in the UK based on the university. For highly ranked universities, tuition fees would be around 18 to 23,000 pounds. For less ranked, tuition fees would be around, let's say, 13 to 16,000 pounds per year. Scholarships are also, yes, they are available, again, based on the university, but general range would be from 1 to 3,000 pounds per year. So that's law. No specific entry requirements, just general entry
Sorry,
requirements. Yeah,
sorry, Tatiana.
sure.
So I just wanted to ask you, because we don't want to skip that. This is quite important. What's the entry requirement for law, foundation, and law? So is there any different, or is still usual?
It is usual, yes. Entry requirements are usual. It will be more based on the university. So again, top ranked universities are asking for higher IELTS for better grades. In general, I would say that GPA 3.0 out of 4 is totally fine. We could
That's for
look into
masters.
for bachelors and for masters. So
And
just
okay, so
depends on student's country and qualification.
in Bangladesh, we GPA is up to 5 for who have finished their 12th year in school or colleges. GPA is, maximum GPA is 5. So
Then we
do you
will ask for
fall in?
four out
Yeah,
of five.
4 out of 5. So yeah, 4 out of 5 GPA. So that could be, yeah, A grade. Yeah. So if you want to continue, please.
Yes, and obviously English results. Again, if we are speaking about high rank universities, this should be uh, 5.5 IELTS. With lower ranked, it could be even 5.0. So, if we are speaking about engineering, I would say that general rules would be the same as for law. The only point that for engineering, we are paying really good attention on maths and physics in the student school certificates. So, it is really important to have good grades for these subjects. And what is again what to add is that usually engineering degrees are more expensive because they require additional equipment, laboratory work, so universities usually charge more. Uh, Again, compared to the law, tuition fees, uh, tuition fees for engineering would be around 1,000, 1,500 higher. That's I can't say that that's really that big difference, but the difference is still here. So, and now we are moving to medicine. That's like one of, I would say, most difficult degrees to be accepted to. Yes, and what is more important than one is the most expensive degrees in the UK. So basically, yes, we do offer foundation program with progression to medicine. A foundation program with progression to medicine is offered in three of our partner universities. So we have medicine in University of Aberdeen in Scotland. We have medicine in University of Cardiff in Wales. We have medicine in Sussex University in England in Brighton, and we have medical program in the university. That's basically four of them. Uh, in the University of Sheffield in England
So,
again.
so those are the universities are actually very top ranked as well, especially
Yes,
University of
absolutely.
Sheffield and Cardiff. I think I am not too sure. I wasn't ready for it, but yeah, I must say University of Cardiff is one of the very top ranked university for medicine. I think it's on the top 10, if I'm not very wrong.
Yes,
Top 10 in medicine, especially for medicine in the UK. So yeah, anyone interested in medicine definitely don't want to miss Cardiff University website and have a look. Still, we are here to help if you need more. If you help with more questions. So yeah, thank you, Tatiana. Go ahead. Please.
yes, thank you. And I would add to your recommendation of Cardiff University, I will also add that please pay attention to Sussex University as well, because Sussex University offers medical program in cooperation with Brighton and Sussex Medical School, which is one of the best in the UK. So
Great.
yes, these are like all the universities that are offering medical degree are highly ranked. University of Cardiff and University of Sheffield are actually Russell Group universities. University of Aberdeen is fifth oldest university in the UK. So yeah, these are really amazing options. What is important that tuition fees for medical programs are about 33 to 35,000 pounds per year. Foundation program would be around 23,000, but next years of studies, and it would be up to 8 years of studies based on the uh, program students are choosing to study. Basically, yes, they are studying medicine, but then they might go for surgery, they might go to be a pediatrician, I don't know, like to use other qualification. So basically, it will depend on how many years they are studying, but in general, yes. So to start with, students are studying foundation program, then they progress to 3 years of bachelor's degree, and only then they will progress to take internship. And so, in general, medical studies will take around 8 years. And yes, the tuition will be around 34,000 pounds per year. Basically, what we offer foundation with the progression to medical degree. In most cases, we have only 10 places on each of these programs. The exception would be University of Aberdeen, where we have 20 places, and University of Sussex, where we have 20 places. So what is important? That to apply to foundation program, students need to take IELTS, and IELTS should be uh, based on the university, but 6.0 for sure. Students need to have good grades, and we will pay special attention to maths, biology, chemistry. And for some universities, for like students to be accepted to medical school, students will need to take additional tests. The test We have two tests, different tests. One is BMAT and one is UCAT. So basically, based on the university, universities are accepted either one or the second test. For example, Cardiff University um, accepts BMAT test, and students are required to take BMAT test prior to start of the foundation program. So that means that students will need to study and prepare themselves to take this test around June, and then only then to start foundation program in September. For the University of Sussex, for example, University of Sussex accepts UCAT test, and with this test is taken during foundation program, meaning students will have additional preparation to take this program, to study to be prepared for the test. What is important that after students finish foundation program, they meet progression requirements. They take this additional test and pass the test actually. They will also need to pass an interview in medical school. Yes, they are prepared for this test. Yeah, for the interview. Yes, we arrange an interview for the students, but students need to bear in mind that they have this one additional step before progression. Frequently asked question: in case students are not able to progress to medical program based on various reasons, whether it is the tuition that is too high, whether students failed to meet progression requirements or didn't pass an interview, we can offer an alternative, basically the program that is medical related but not medicine itself. So basically we have a variety of biomedical and biotechnology programs. We have genetics, we have pharmacology. These are the programs that could be offered to students as an alternative in case they fail to progress to medical degree.
Thank you, Tatiana. Thank you so much. Medical itself really is a question itself, because especially a student from South Asia, they don't know how to study. Most of them, they don't know how to study medicine abroad, and especially when it comes to entry requirement, and they just get lost in the ocean, because this is massive, and also unfortunately, and not lots of consultants abroad, they're very specialist, especially on medicine. And lots of students in fact, still yet they have good result, they are dedicated, they have they're capable to pay the teaching fees, still not getting in the right place. So this is why I must say that to study medicine, study a research, more research about those universities, especially when Tatiana said that University of Sussex, it has, I totally forgot that it is one of the top 20, if I'm not so wrong, and I think it top 20 in research. And
Yes, it
when it
is.
comes to research, and you want to study medicine, so there is no other choice instead. Having a university who are really strong in research. So because you are going to go through a lots of research while you study medicine, and it's long 8 years. Now, two more difficult things like I have had faced earlier from the students. These two questions like BMAT and UCAT. So which one, BMAT or UCAT? Or and how it really works and how was the score to get the path through. So if you can kindly go through those two questions, please, for me, Tatiana.
Yes, so basically, which test? It is really difficult to answer because different universities are accepting different tests. So that's why it is essential for the student to understand what university they want to apply to, and then obviously they will know what test they need to take. In general, I can't say that it is that difficult test, but this test will actually show whether student is ready, not only knowledge related, but mentally related, whether student is ready to be a doctor or not. Because yes, I'm not a doctor by myself, but my brother is a doctor, and I would say that it is very difficult, and like you really need to love this job to be successful. So that's actually what these tests are meant to identify students who are who should be really successful being a doctor and helping people. Yes, there's some knowledge tests, but there's also a part that would help. First of all, would help students to understand themselves whether they are ready to be doctors or whether it is better for them to choose some medical related degree but not medicine itself. As I mentioned already, maybe some research degree like genetics, or maybe bioengineering or biomedicine. Again, like these degrees are available for the students in case students are failed to take one of the tests. Also, when we
Okay,
are
so
speaking about, yes,
I just want to go. I know that most of what I know, if I'm not wrong, that most universities are actually accepting BMAT, and there are few universities taking, UCAT.
you
Most universities are accepting UCAT, and whereas less number of universities are accepting BMAT.
BMAT.
I am not too sure if, for example, if I am a student, I'm a medical interested student, and I have done my UCAT. So, and I have not chosen a university, or I have changed my mind that I don't want to go to a university who are accepting UCAT and who are accepting actually BMAT. So, do I have to, if I've done my UCAT, do I still need to do BMAT, or do I just can just go past with the
That's a
UCAT?
really good question. To be honest, I didn't have an experience of students taking a wrong test, like not the wrong test, but just changing their mind and taking a different test. But I think that yes, students will need to take another test because it clearly states, for example, Cardiff University clearly states that they need BMAT test. And again, the main difference that we will not be able to accept students with UCAT test to Cardiff University because UCAT test is taken later. So basically, a student will need to take BMAT prior to the start of foundation program. Basically, the foundation program starts in September. BMAT is usually taken around end of May, June time.
All right, so students, here we go again. This is an answer of many of your, question. Even I don't find it sometimes in YouTube. Even I did myself search on YouTube that how it actually works. Do I get through with BMAT if I go to a UCAT accepting university, and then no one was 100% sure that can we do that until we actually go for through the admission. So Yeah, this is a very great answer for the students who are very confused about BMAT or UCAT. So, um, do you want to talk about the entry requirement or the score of BMAT? And if I know that is very researching question actually, so you might have to
Yeah.
go through. But if you have that and keep it, in your mind, so if you just wanted to mention. Um,
Unfortunately
the
not. I
score.
don't have on top of my head the necessary requirements for either test. And anyway, to be honest, like as far as I remember, there's an option pass or not pass. So basically, if students are passing the test, then they should be accepted. But let me double check this. Um, you got. mm, Yeah, for UCAT, the range is from 1,200 to 3,600. Unfortunately, uh, I don't have. Just one moment, let me check UCAT scores for. So, mm, here. So, Brighton and Sussex Medical School is uh, asking students to. Hello?
Yeah, yeah, Tatiana.
Yeah.
Can you see me?
So, yeah, yeah. No, everything's fine. For section one, it should be three. For section two, six, and for section three is 2.5 or higher. Um, so, for international applicants in general, in 2022, uh, the average score was 19.5 or above. Uh, each medical school has its entry requirements and again has average grades. So basically, what that means that it doesn't mean that students who actually met entry requirements will be accepted. Students who are having higher grades will be accepted. So that's the point. What is really important to mention here is that again, students who are interested in medical related degrees but who are not ready to pay a fortune or to spend 8 years studying, these students have really good opportunity to choose nursing. Nursing degree is less challenging. It takes 4 years, basically foundation year plus 3 years of bachelor's degree, and the degree does not require to take these additional tests. So basically, students are welcome to apply to nursing programs, and I would say that our nursing programs are extremely popular among international students. We have amazing nursing program in the University of Huddersfield. We can have good nursing programs in Cardiff and Sussex.
Here we go again. When it comes to affordability, again, there are lots of students, to be very honest, and I feel very, very sad sometimes because, you know, some student 30,000, 30 to 35,000, 30,000 pounds a year. It's quite a lot. Even I don't think it's average. It's much higher, expense when it comes to study abroad. And I do appreciate that lots of students don't can't afford it, and that they are still good at their education and interested to study medicine. So this is a really great opportunity because especially in UK, you still can be a doctor while you study in the university 8 years. Instead, getting nursing course done in the university, and then getting into GP, getting into NHS National Health Service, and then with your experience, and then you go back to uni or go back with the training. So you still will be eligible to be a doctor in the future. So your dream doesn't actually die here. So you can still keep your dream alive, and at the same time, be a nurse and keep earning money. This is what I would suggest. Don't just immediately, without having any consultation of any professional, go and do give a suicide to your beautiful dream. So I don't want you to do that. Instead, come to us, and we would be very glad to help you in guiding with your study abroad dream. And also, when it comes to BMAT, I have just researched and found out that 37 BMAT out of 37, 9 marks for the section 1, 18 marks for the section 2, and 5 marks for the section, 5 marks for the each element of section 3. If this is what you have, this is the most average. So if you want to go to the every specific university, this is going to be taken like all day. So instead, I have averaged it to these again. Out of 37, BMAT score 9 marks for section 1, 18 marks for the section 2, and 5 marks on each element for the section 3. So if you get that, so you'll be more likely getting into the university to accept the BMAT. So there we go. Tatiana, thank you so much. What's the most generous university in when it comes to scholarship? 5,000, 4,000. Which are the universities based?
Uh, to be honest, like in the UK, we do not have that high scholarships. We have specific scholarship this year for the University of Sheffield. We are yet expecting for the confirmation for a couple of other universities. Hopefully, we'll be able to offer higher scholarships, but currently we have only University of Sheffield that offers 5,000 pounds scholarship for the students, for international students. And again, it is really important to highlight that with the UK, we can actually choose the university based on students' budget because we have really amazing programs in the universities that are less expensive than, for example, Durham or Sheffield. Uh, Again, as an alternative, we can offer University of Cardiff, that is still like the university's Russell Group. It is highly ranked. Tuition fees are around 18,000 per year, and the bursaries are also available.
Up to
Um, Up to 3,000 currently. But
that's
why
not.
I've mentioned why I've actually mentioned Cardiff, because Cardiff, one is of the most affordable cities in the UK. So basically, living in the city itself, obviously, yes, I'm not talking about small towns or about the countryside, but if we are talking about big cities, Cardiff is one of the most affordable cities in the UK. Basically, a cup of coffee costs twice less than it could cost in London.
Oh,
The same,
definitely. I've been
the
in Cardiff.
same with
Yeah.
yeah, the same with the accommodation renting. The same with average price for lunch or for dinner. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that based on students' budget, we could definitely offer something that will suit the student. We could either look for more expensive university but with high bursary, or we could take a look into the university like University of Cardiff that is highly ranked, has, I would say, like average tuition fee, but the cost of living itself is less expensive. Because even like compared to London, we can look into Kingston University London. University cost is around £14,000, not that big cost. We can offer 1,000 scholarship, but living expenses will be so high that students will still spend much more than they could have spent if they've been located in, for example, Cardiff and
Right.
studied in more expensive university.
All right. So, um,
Um,
student who has 3 to 5 years
yeah.
study.
Thanks a lot for your question, Tarkil. That's really important question to ask. Uh, Unfortunately, not currently. And again, this will be mostly based on students' nationality and on the degree students are applying to. For example, for foundation program, in most cases, our maximum study gap is 2 years. For international year one, maximum study gap is 3 years. So we do not have such set deadline gaps if we are speaking about master's degree, because in most cases with master's degree we would ask for work experience. But if we are speaking about undergraduate degree, yes, for Bangladeshi students this should be 2 years maximum. For Pakistani and Indian students, it will depend on the university students are applying to. For example, University of Huddersfield is very strict. They require 2 years of study gap and not more. Liverpool John Moores University, that is located in Liverpool, um, is, I would say, much easier if we are talking about study gaps, as long as student can explain what they were doing, and obviously basically uh, the COVID influence, and if students were, like, I don't know, taking some additional classes not degree related or anything like that, we could still try justify study gap. So, and obviously we will be able to push the university to accept the student, but it would be definitely based on case by case basis. And I'm afraid students with 5 years study gap will not be accepted to undergraduate degrees. But if we are talking about 2 or 3 years, then yes, it should be fine.
Yeah,
Sorry,
this is
can yeah.
sorry. This is a question we face very often. That study gap. So again, masters, there's no limit if you have your work experience, and 2 years to 3 years for the international year one, depending on your IELTS result and also your academic results. However, moving forward to the next very important question, which is interview nowadays. Now, this is which universities are requiring students to sit on interview, and which universities are not, and
Uh,
how would it like to be?
so basically, yes, we do not have an interview to be admitted to the university itself, but we have an interview for course, basically visa document to be issued for students to apply for visas. Previously, these visa interviews were run by our staff, and after student confirms the place and pays the fees. This year, we are trying a bit different approach, and we are able to schedule this eligibility interview prior to students confirming the place.
Okay,
But yes, this
this
is
is
really important step, and this is, like, I would say, key decision making step, because if our visa team understands that most likely students will not be approved visas, they will reject issuing costs as well.
Superb. I so this is not going to be. I wasn't sure that is it going to be conducted by study group or by the university itself.
No, it is our study group visa team. So
Okay,
basically, we
so
have the whole visa department that works with international students. Again, because different students have different circumstances. Some of them were already studying in the UK. Some of them are repeating their degrees. Some of them are from the nationalities that are considered high risk by UKVI. So that means that these students will need more attention from our visa team.
okay, so here we go again with the interview. One of the very most important questions. This I wouldn't call it interview. Being a study group representative, I know that what is it exactly like. So I wouldn't definitely call it interview. Instead, I will call it visa documents arrangement support. So yeah, so there is nothing like that. You will fail in this interview if you know how it actually works. What documents do you need and how much tuition fees you need to pay, and when and what to do. So this is there's nothing to be worried about when it comes to interview. Like don't get mad. And study. Study group is a provider that help you with your scarcity, not facing an interview. This is the answer of your question. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I
Thanks a lot for pointing this, actually. Yes, we are not looking for any specific degree related questions. We are not going to check your knowledge. Absolutely not. This interview is more to check your intentions towards coming to the UK and staying in the UK. So basically, our visa team will be checking whether you know your university, whether you can justify why you did choose the exact university, why you are interested in the exact program, how you see yourself in 5 or 10 years.
exactly.
And yeah, it is really important to highlight that your intentions are not to be illegal immigrant in the UK.
Okay. Thank you, Tatiana. Thank you so much. Coming to the very, nearly to the end of our Q&A session. Before I have one more question that might not be a question anymore, but yeah, I would still like to because of curiosity. I know that MOI. It's I know Braden used to accept MOI. So and also just wanted to make sure among the students who are really listening. So are we still having any universities who are accepting MOI?
Sorry, could you please spell the qualification?
Yeah, MOI, medium of instruction. So, for example, yeah. So
Mhm.
students having, for example, A level student who
Yeah.
are coming from an English medium background, or O level. I will come to the O level after that. So, coming from the A level student who have studied an English medium student, do they still need to go through the IELTS, or they can directly?
Yes. So basically, for foundation program, almost all of the students need to take for example, for foundation program, all of the students are required to take English test. It should be UKVI test, and so basically we do not require English test for students to be accepted to foundation program based on their A level, but students will need to take this test if they are applying to foundation program. If the students are applying to international year one program, which is, I would say, most frequent case, then it will depend on the university. Because with the universities on study group costs, we will still need students IELTS UKVI for visa purposes. To be accepted to the international year one program, no, we'll be able to accept students based on A level. But for visa, yes, we will still ask students to take UKVI test. For integrated costs, like for example with the Liverpool John Moores University, University of Huddersfield, Royal Holloway University London, Teesside University, we have joint costs where cost is issued by the university. And in this case, again, in most cases, it still depends on the student's qualification, where student was studying. But if we are speaking about um, certain countries, then yes, we can accept students based on their A level, and English result will not be required.
Okay, so yeah, here again, so MOI accepted actually for the international year one, not for the
Yes,
foundation.
it could be
It,
accepted both, but it just depends that.
okay, so well, if it comes to pre-masters, so what happens if do they still can they still apply with MOI, for example, medium of instruction in English?
Let me check for pre-masters because I'm pretty sure that it will still depend on the program they are applying to, but in general, I would say yes. So we accept Indian qualification for uh, international year and for pre-masters. For again, it will depend on the country where students were studying. But for
Okay,
India, yes, we do accept students. We do accept student tests for to be qualified to be disqualified from submitting English requirement.
okay, so well, Indian student can. I get that. So I would have a brief, detailed discussion with you, and whoever is missing this valuable information, and if we couldn't give it very rightly, then I do apologize for that, and we will leave that in comment, so you can find out while accepting universities from study group and how it exactly works. And you can still give us a call and we will help. So for international year one, definitely you can come with A level student are eligible to get into the international year one into the university. So I will explain with Tatiana and leave the matter in the chat. Sorry, actually in the comment box. So coming to the very end of the Q&A session. I'm sorry. Yeah. So is it going to be, for example, yeah, September session, September 2023? What study group is planning? Because study group had, this is the very last question I will ask. A study group were actually closed on last session from recruiting students from Bangladesh. So what's I know that we are not only recruiting from Bangladesh, we are also recruiting from India and Pakistan and also Ghana. So I just wanted to make sure that being here in Bangladesh, I just wanted to make sure Bangladeshi students what they're getting from study group.
Um, well, we are happy to accept students from Bangladesh to our US centers. Unfortunately, with the UK, I'm still waiting for final confirmation. So I'm pretty sure that I will be able to get back to you with this reply in a little while. But as of now, yes, we are still not accepting Bangladeshi nationals. But yeah, I just do hope that we will resume this in a couple of weeks' time.
Okay, so you know what? Whenever it comes to a news, it always happens. Whatever happens, happens, good or bad. But whenever is there is something, we have at least something. This is what I personally believe. A study group. Hopefully, they will recruit students again. Actually, there are lots of quality students in Bangladesh, and I do feel sorry for the last session. And I am personally very much hoping to recruit from Bangladesh with the study group again on this coming September. And if I missed any question, I do apologize that I couldn't ask Tatiana all those questions today. But yeah, still, I will get to get to Tatiana and get answers of your any question if you have in future. Please do not hesitate to leave on comments if you have any queries. And thank you so much all for watching our session today. I do very appreciate that, and thank you, Tatiana, for your very kind support for the international students and your very precious time today with us with the UKWAY Education Consultants. I appreciate that. Hope you have a lovely day.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the invitation. It was my pleasure joining you today. And have a nice day, evening, everyone, whenever you're located. And obviously, thanks a lot, everyone, for joining this session, and hope to see all of you as our students in the UK.
See you soon.
See ya.
Stay
Bye.
safe. Keep well. Bye bye.